Referee in charge of the Octagon, Marc Goddard.
I don't just referee from the mind, it's from the heart. You're sharing the platform with the greatest fighters on earth, but sometimes those guys need saving from themselves. I just need to do what I'm supposed to do at the time I'm supposed to do it. At the end of a fight, if you don't know who the ref was, then he's done a great job.
What's the true role of a referee in an MMA fight?
A fighter's safety is the #1 priority. It's my #1 priority.
I want you to listen to me at all times. Keep yourself protected.
Every time you see a fighter make his way to the Octagon, he comes to the sponsored mat known as the prep point. Generally, you'll see two things happen. The cutman will apply Vaseline to the eyebrows, nose and cheeks only. And we will do our checks for his safety equipment, gum shield, box and the gloves. You'll see us spread the fighter's arms out and we'll check in and around the back of his ears, his hair and his body. And in general, what we're looking for is that the fighter's clean and is free of any foreign substance. Okay, been over the rules in the dressing room. I want you to list them at all times. Keep yourself protected at all times. When I say stop, you stop.
Touch gloves, let's do this.
You will see in some fights when the fighters come together, generally that's only reserved for main events, titles, and sometimes co-main events. In all of the fights, the fighters will start from their respective red and blue corners. The referee's positioning is, of course, vital. I don't want to be too close to the fighters to get in their way and be in front of the camera, and by the same token, I don't want to be too far away from the fighters. If Case was to throw an inside low kick, and he's favouring that, if I can see he's throwing that kick, I would position myself to his side so that in the eventuality of an inside low kick going low or towards the cup, I'm in the best position to see it and call it as a foul or not.
Think about your target and where you're placing it, okay? Sure.
I can punch, I can knee, I can kick and I can elbow. The only elbow that's actually forbidden in mixed martial arts is a 12-6 downwards elbow. The element of foul play is removed. There is no butting, there is no biting, no scratching, no twisting of the flesh, no fish hooking. When two fighters come together and clinch like this, one may be a Thai boxer where he's looking for an overhand or Thai plum. Another guy may be a wrestler where he's looking for over-unders or a body lock, but this is the clinch position. And in this position, generally what we're looking for, again, the same as in a standing position, is that the fighters are fighting within the confines of the rules. A very popular misconception is what is actually deemed as the back of the head. Under unified rules, the back of the head consists of, if I draw a line from the top of the ear across the back of the head to the top of his other ear, any punch contained on, within or below that line is the back of the head. Also, in addition to that, if I take the middle of the head from that line, a 2-inch line up to the curvature of the head, the crown, that is also a forbidden area. So I have a 2-inch line, and if I follow that down, that follows the line of the spine all the way down the body. And of course, the spine in its entirety is not allowed to be struck in any manner.
You cannot knee to the spine.
Probably the most popular rule infringement you'll see is when fighters hold the fence. And understanding that guys, sometimes they do it inherently, they're not exactly sure why they're doing it, and it's more instinctive, but obviously it gives an unfair advantage to the opponent in front. He is now controlling his opponent via gripping the fence. His opponent may be trying to reverse that position, and as long as he's holding that fence, he's got an unfair advantage and he's preventing him from doing so.
Once more, I'm going to take a point.
I have to afford the fighters, ample time and suitable time to work their game plan or work their technique. But if they get to a standing position or against the fence, we'll generally hear the referee call out for some work or some action.
If you guys don't hold it there.
If they don't, generally I will tell a fighter or two fighters twice. On the third time is when I'm coming in to break them up and restart the action. Okay, so here we are in perhaps, the third phase of the fight. Two fighters in a grounded position. The fighter on the bottom, he may be actively looking to sweep or submit, and the fighter on top, if he is remaining active, throwing strikes and looking to advance his position, he may pass from a guard to a side control position. When a fighter moves, that's my key to move. I want to make sure from a safety point of view, that I'm in the best possible position to see as much of the fighter's offense as possible. Here he has his opponent trapped in an armbar. What I'm looking for is a submission, either physical or verbal. When I see Cage tap, my cue to step in and stop the fight. The rear naked choke. Two things that are gonna happen here. One is that the fighter elects to submit and he taps himself, fight is over. The second, another very common point, is that the fighter will not tap, he will refuse to tap, and instead he will go to sleep. He will drift into unconsciousness. What I'm looking for there is the obvious signs of looking at his eyes, and of course, if his arms go limp, I can see clearly that the fighter's out, and I will stop the fight, and it will be recorded as a technical submission.
It's one of those areas that is widely debated in MMA. Stoppage was too early, stoppage was too late. It feels like the referee can never win.
Look, it's kind of, you know, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. We could leave a fighter one or two punches too late. People will criticise. You react to what you see in front of you. If a fighter is knocked unconscious, he's knocked unconscious. If he's on the borderline of not being able to intelligently defend himself, then you have to make that call based on what you see, you know, and that's why I say it's intuitive. I think you've either got that in you or you haven't. This sport is anything but no holds barred. It was a very clear, deliberate and concise set of rules. These are there to govern and ensure the safety, longevity and well-being of fighters, both inside and outside of the octagon.